around 11,000, more than 11,000. So only about 250 that have been put as mandatory SNI. So this is when SNI on essential oils or minyak atsiri is going to be implemented. So we need also, because at the end of the day, finally we need a mechanism, something like certification or have to be tested in the testing laboratory. So we have also provide some guidance how industry they will implement SNI on minyak atsiri to be certified and to be in compliance with the relevant SNI. And this is the certification process of SNI. So we have SNI, and then this SNI is implemented by industry, and then when they are going to seek the certification, they have to seek the certification to the conformity assessment body that must be accredited by the National Accreditation Body of Indonesia, or KAN. So, and finally, when the industry, they have been stated as in compliance with SNI, they have the right to use the SNI mark here. And then we talk about the competence of the body or the conformity assessment bodies that are given the right to either to test in the laboratory or to conduct certification or probably validation and verification. So they have, again, they have to be accredited by our national accreditation body. This is Komite Akreditasi Nasional. So I put in one simple slide here, the mechanism how the accreditation certification is now being operated in Indonesia. So basically, one that conducting the testing, they are adalah testing laboratory that include as the conformity assessment bodies. They have to be accredited by our national accreditation body. So this process is called accreditation, and from the conformity assessment body to the product, either goods, services, system, process, or person. We in generic term we call it certification. And when we talk about the testing laboratory, we call it testing. And to achieve the international recognition, Komite Akreditasi Nasional is also becoming the member of international cooperation in accreditation, either in Asia Pacific region or in international fora. So CAN itself regularly evaluated by international by using the peer evaluation mechanism every 4 years. So this is mainly to achieve our recognition in international fora. This is the accreditation scheme that now being operated in Indonesia by Komite Akreditasi Nasional. Actually, we have been operating so many accreditation schemes. So when we talk about the accreditation of testing laboratory, so we talk just only one scheme. And currently we have 32 schemes, and I put here the printed in italic have been recognized internationally. So for example, testing laboratory, and then calibration laboratory, medical laboratory, PT provider, and then product certification, inspection body, quality management system for ISO 9001, environmental management system for ISO 40001, food safety using ISO 22000, and then information security 27001, and then energy management system 50001, and person certification also have been recognized internationally. And the last one that we have just achieved last year is validation and verification of greenhouse gases. So this 13 scheme have been recognized internationally. That means that when we talk today about a testing laboratory, for example, that the result issued by the testing laboratory in Indonesia that have been accredited by CAN will be also recognized internationally by the MRA partners or mutual recognition arrangement partners of CAN. So this include almost all countries in the world. So we have been having important infrastructure here to support the needs of Indonesia, of course, to protect our consumer and also to support to increase our national competitiveness. And this is the list of testing laboratory accredited by CAN for essential oils. So this is data as of October 2021. We have 15 testing laboratory. So this is the identity name number of the accreditation, and this is the name of the testing laboratory, and this is the scope of testing. Because accreditation, when we talk about accreditation of testing laboratory or certification body, etc., we have to talk also about the scope of competence of the laboratory. For example, number one for the UPTD, Balai Pengujian dan Sertifikasi Mutu Barang Sumatera Barat, they are accredited for minyak pala only. So when you have, for example, minyak daun cengkeh, so you have to go to not to the Sumatera Barat, but to for example to UPT Balai Pengujian dan Sertifikasi Mutu Barang Medan, etc. So to conclude my speech, Pak Moderator, so this is the description that hosts standardization to support implementation of the technical regulation. When we talk about technical regulation, means the regulation that using SNI as the basis. So currently we are facilitating many regulations developed by many technical ministries, industry, trade, health, and also under halal. And when we talk about the standard to support industries and businesses, so we talk also about the facilitating all industry, especially for the small and medium enterprises, to be compliant with the standard. I think that's all, Pak Moderator, what I'm going to share to you all this morning. Once again, thank you very much to the Faculty of Agro-Industrial Technology, University of Padjadjaran, for giving me or giving the BSN opportunity to share what we are doing until now. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Bapak Kuku S. Ahmad, for your nice presentation. We still have actually 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe I would like to highlight that what you have presented previously, that the national standard, especially related to the essential oil, is very needed for the 2 key issues. The first is for the customer protection, and then the second is for the national competitiveness. And there are actually now 47 Indonesian national standard which related to essential oil. And I think the number will grow in the near future, because our country is very rich in many sources of the herb and spices as a source of the essential oil. Maybe I just want to ask to Bapak Kuku S. Ahmad one question is, actually our country still depend on product from the abroad. I mean that we still import extract, for instance, and also maybe the essential oil oil, yeah, the purified, the ancestral from the abroad. So what is the, I mean, what is the key, I mean, the key issues, I mean, to protect, I mean, to protect our national competitiveness, and also we try to also protect the customer protections. What I mean, the BSE, no, I mean BSN did until now to, I mean, to increase the competitiveness of our essential oil products. Maybe that's only the one question to Bapak. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pak Bambang. If I may respond to the issue that, in fact, internationally, no standard becoming the, we normally say as the effective tools to protect the nation, to protect the customer of certain countries. But we have also to open to the mechanism that we can only use the mandatory SNI. Yeah, when we talk about the export import in border, so when the SNI itself have not been put as a mandatory SNI, so we cannot how to say, to probably to filter the product from overseas which are entering Indonesia. But when the standard itself have been put as mandatory SNI, so we can use the standard as the requirements. All the product that are going to enter the border of Indonesia. So currently around 250 standard have been put as mandatory, and according to our law, the one who can put SNI as a mandatory is the technical ministries, who has the right to overcome the market. Yeah. For example, probably when we talk about SNI, I think many of Indonesians then suddenly they remember about the helmet. Yeah, helmet. SNI for helmet is now put as mandatory because relating to our safety when we are riding our motorbike, etc. So hopefully, Pak Bambang and all participants, we can use SNI to be more powerful to protect our consumer and to support our national competitiveness, because many of our national standards is also, they are identically adopted from international standard. That means this requirements is the same with the country, with the destination export country from Indonesia. I think that's my response, Pak Bambang. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Koko. Very nice answer. And so now we are in the end of the sessions. Thank you very much for your nice presentation, and hopefully this session will be beneficial to all of us, our distinguished audience and participants. So I don't want to make conclusion. I just want to make highlight that the national standard of Indonesia is needed for the two things, yeah, for the customer protection and also for the national competitiveness. I think that's the two things that I would like to highlight. And then I would like to return. Before that, I would like to ask all the audience to give the big applause to Bapak Kukuh S. Ahmad. Thank you very much, Pak Kukuh, for your nice presentation. Yeah, I will return back the session to Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bambang Nur Hadi, and also thank you for the speakers, Mr. Kukuh, for such a nice presentation. We would like to invite Professor Warsito to give the certificate to our moderator and speakers. To Mr. Warsito, the time is yours.
Okay. Dear Mr. Dr. Kukuh S. Ahmad, MSc, PD, on behalf of ICAO Committee, I would like to express an appreciable by giving keynote speaker certificate. I would like to thank you for your very valuable and fruitful speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Warsito.
And our moderator and our speaker.
All right, we would also like to give certificate to our moderator. Professor Tito, once again, we would like to invite you to give certificate to the moderator.
Okay, Mr. Bambang, and thank you for your moderator and keynote speaker in this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Warsito.
Okay, thank you, Professor Warsito. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next we will have the second plenary session. Sorry, the first plenary session. This session will be led by a moderator. Our moderator for this session is Dr. Dwi Setianingsih. She is a lecturer of the Department of Agro-Industrial Technology, IPB University, and she got her doctorate degree from IPB University. To Dr. Dwi Setianingsih, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Ceremony, for the introduce me to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for preparing yourself to join our conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning, everyone. I hope that we are all have a good health in this beautiful morning. Respectable organizing committee for the third international conference of essential oils, Dr. Sarifah Nurjana, the head of Association of Indonesian Essential Oil Researcher, APAI, Professor Warsito, and the head of Indonesian Association of Food Technologies, PATPI, Professor Umar Santoso, and the head of Indonesian Essential Oil Council, DAI, Bapak Robi Gunawan. The honorable lecturers, researchers, professionals, students, and the honorable participants of this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to be chair in this very important sessions. My name is Dwi Setianingsih from Department of Agro-Industrial Technology, IPB University, and I'm very pleased to see you here and welcome all of you to this plenary session. Ladies and gentlemen, we have three speakers in this session. First is Dr. Justinus Satrio from Villanova University, USA. The second is Ibu Dr. Weni Sunarharum from PATPI, Indonesia. And third is Mrs. Lima, PhD from R&D Center for Aromatic Plants, Shanghai Jiaotong University, China. So let me introduce our first speaker, Dr. Justinus Satrio. She is Associate Professor of Chemical Engineering and Director of Biomass Resources and Conversion Technologies, BRCT Laboratory at Villanova University. And he is got his bachelor's degree in Chemical Engineering from Iowa University, USA, and the master degree also from Chemical Engineering specialization from Iowa University, and the same specialization for his doctoral degree. So before I start with the first speaker, I will let me inform how the presentation will be going on. First, Dr. Satrio will be invited to present the the material for 20 minutes. After that, followed by the second speaker and the third speaker for 20 minutes each. And an answer session for about 30 minutes for all three speakers, and ended by conclusion from the moderator. So now allow me to welcome the first speaker, Dr. Satrio, to deliver his presentation titled Perspective on Sustainable Production of Essential Oils. Dr. Satrio, the screen is yours.
Okay, good morning, everyone. To you, all of you in Indonesia, greetings from the United States of America. I am in Philadelphia. Right now, it is 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday. It is fall season here. It is 10 degrees centigrade. It is pretty cold. But then it is very nice to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me to the organizer, and thank you to Bu Dwi for introducing me as the first speaker for this morning. All right, so without further ado, I will share my slides. Okay, can everyone see my slides? All right, so the talk of my talk is this morning will be about a perspective on sustainable essential oil industry. And I'm from Villanova University. I've been here at Villanova for 10 years, although I'm from the United States, here for quite a while. So from my face and from my accent, you know that I'm also from Indonesia. My talk today will start with some introduction a bit, and then the main things I would like to start with thinking about sustainability. I want to make sure that we are on the same page about what is sustainability. Then I will talk a little bit about essential oils with connection with sustainability in terms of connections, some challenges and potential solutions. First, I declare that I'm not an expert in essential oils. So this is the first time I talk about this industry, but then from my perspectives as a chemical engineer who loves thinking about, who care about sustainability, I like to share my thought about this issue. So a little bit about Villanova University. I've been here, as I mentioned, I've been here for about 10 years. It is a private Catholic university. It is located in the suburb of the city of Philadelphia, that is in the East Coast. Philadelphia is the fifth largest city in the U.S. It is the first capital of the United States 3 centuries ago. It is located about 200 miles, 100 miles, about 180 kilometers south of New York City, and then about 200 kilometers north of Washington, D.C. So it is a very nice place to visit. So I would like to invite you to come to Philadelphia sometimes. So Villanova has been founded in 1842. It is the oldest and the largest university in the state of Pennsylvania. We have about over 10,000 undergraduate, graduate, and professional students. So here I was with my former 2 PhD students, one from Mexico and one from Chile. Now they already graduated. So I'm looking for new students from Indonesia. So my research area in the area of utilization of biomass as feedstock for the production of bio-based products. So this topic is very dear to me. So essential oil is something that I will be very interested to work on as well. All right, so the basics. Let's start thinking about sustainability. What is sustainability? So first, that probably we are aware about the issue of climate change and then so on. So the question is that, are we living in a sustainable world? So what is sustainable world? That is the world in which human needs are met in such a way that human population can survive indefinitely. So the for indefinite is the keyword. So it will be something that will continue. The question is that, are we living in that way? Do we want to live in the healthy, peaceful environment? Or is it going to be something else that we do not want to have for our future generations? So when we talk about sustainability, we will talk about sustainable development. Okay, so sustainable development is about how to meet the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet theirs. So sustainability is meeting the needs. So it is a condition. Okay, and then sustainable development is the how part, how to meet the needs. So when we talk about sustainability, oftentimes when we talk about sustainability, we only think about issue about environment. Okay, sustainability about environment, but then sustainability is more than that. There are three components of sustainability. That is the society at the top, so this supported by economy, and then at the bottom one, the most important one is the environment. That's true. It is about environment. So for a healthy society, society depends on the economy, and then the economy depends on the global ecosystem. Okay, so economy will not be strong in sustainable way if the environment is not healthy. So one thing to think about is oftentimes we live in very narrow-minded thinking or perspectives based on our expertise. But then sustainability is we have to do all those three together. They cannot be separated. That is the ecocentric concern, socio-ecocentric concern, and then economics concern. We often, as engineers, as scientists, we only focus on this technocentric, about technologies, innovation. But then we want to make sure that these technologies that we develop must be able to meet the need of the society, will benefit the society, and also must be not I lost my word. This must be not become bad for the environment. Okay, when we talk also about the focus, is we talk about these people on social equity, about the profit economic prosperity, and about the planet. Okay, so having this, we will have this the world that is sustainable. And about evaluating, about how to evaluate sustainability, is that we have to see that not only from one perspective, but we need to see them from the different perspectives. Okay, there are a social perspective, technological perspective, economical perspective, environment, and political perspectives and regulations. So they have to go hand in hand. How about the guideline? So the guideline is, we all know probably that about this the global guideline is set up by the United Nations. There are guidelines for the society, and then guidelines for the betterment of economy, guidelines for the environment, and then guidelines for supporting institution for about regulations. So we have this we have these blueprints, and then to reach this goal. So the question is that how can we meet that? How does this have anything to do with essential oils? So moving from sustainability, I hope that we are on the same page about sustainability. And let's see that from the perspective of essential oil. Okay, so of course, then essential oils has been used in humanity for many years, for 1,000 years, and then it is derived from plants. Okay, and then usually it's a small portion of plants that go to essential oil, and it is a business. It is a commodity that is growing. Okay, so in the essential oils worldwide, is to grow from 17 billion US dollars in 2017 to about 27 billion dollars in 2022. So this is some chart that I gather from Statistica. So essential oil is a growing industry due to demand. You know, the lifestyle of people, and then the people want to live in more, you know, taking natural stuff. So as the market demand has been increasing from 226 thousand tons, and then now in 2025 about almost double to 400. So most of the demands come from the Europe, and then North America and Asia Pacific is mainly China. So essential oils is a significant economic potential. Okay, so the market value is from 17 to 2022 has increased by from about 17 billions to about 28 billions. And then organic essential oils, this is the smaller portion on the organic essential oil, but then the value also is rising significantly. And for example, people in the United States, they love anything that are organics. So that is more for them. It is more natural, healthier. So this is something that is organic essential oil, something that it will be where people in this country, United States, very interested in. So global top exporters is France, United States, and then interestingly, I saw this Singapore is number 4, and then I thought that Singapore is a small city without much resources, but then it is our biggest exporter. I'm thinking that they are importing this from Indonesia, and the importer is mainly from China, United States, and also, I see the Singapore import a lot of essential oils, and I'm sure that many of them come from Indonesia. So I do not see Indonesia on this and the global top exporters. Something to think about. So in terms of economic feasibilities, essential oils are highly potential commodities to be developed. Indonesia is very rich in resources to produce essential oils. But the question is that how to make it sustainable. Okay, so when we talk about making essential oils to be sustainable, again, we need to go back about the term of sustainability. So in order to be sustainable, essential oil industry must be profitable for these 3 components. Good for, we know it's very potential for economy, but then how about for society? And how about the environment? That's something to think about in terms for essential oils. So in my mind, these are the connections between the essential oil industry, about the sustainability, and then something that I think very important is its relation to food, energy, and water. This is called this water, energy, food nexus. Okay, so sustainable essential oil industries must benefit the society on the principles of fairness, justice, and equality, equal. That is the question. Is essential oil only benefits certain group of people, or is that beneficial also for everyone who are involved in essential oil? The next one, also, it must minimize the impacts to the degradation of environment. And so you see here the arrows in both ways. First is that if the society healthy and wealthy, they will be able to purchase more essential oils, right? And also they will be able to protect the environment more. So in that way, then the healthy society, healthy environment will be able to support a healthier, bigger of essential oil industry. But then if the relationship is not good, if the essential oil reduce the quality of environment, for example, the quality of soil, then probably then it will impact in future the impact of the economy and the social. Okay, so the connection between these two are very, very important. Then also we interact closely with the sustainability of water, energy, food nexus. Okay, again, is society, the life will not be able to proceed without any of these three. Food, water, energy, they are the driver for the sustainable life, sustainable living. The essential oil industry, need a lot of energy, need a lot of water, and that. So a healthy water supply, a healthy energy supply, that will support a healthy essential oil industries. Okay. The question is that can it essential oil industry also can give a support for the healthy water and food energy nexus? It's something to think about. For example, that minimizing the use of energy, or provide ways to make energy, okay, or reducing the use of water, and so on. So there is a mutual interaction between these two. So when we talk about agriculture and agro-industry, it is a long value chain. It's from agriculture companies, from the germplasm, is kind of how to produce a super seeds, for example, and then the planting, harvesting, transport, storage, processing. Okay, so all these components must go hand in hand. So the success of this value chains is dependent on the weakest link. Okay, so if the slowest ones, like a group of people, if maybe the speed of the group dependent on who is on the slowest one. Okay, so the success of agriculture and agro-industry dependent on the weakest link in the value chains. So the question that how is the value chains in essential oil industry? Okay, well, this is just some my thought about this patchouli oil. For example, it starts with the plantation, and then the harvesting. Start with harvesting and then do the drying process, and then usually during a distiller, usually it is done by the farmer distillers in the village, and then it is transported to a modern facility, and for example in Indeso doing this, and then purify that, and then put that as for ready for transportation to be exported, and then goes to the market, and then going for use. Okay, so this is I think that is the value chain. Okay, so all this involve economy, involve energy usage, involve water usage. So the question is that how sustainable is this link? So just this is what I found from an article that I read about. Indonesia is the major supplier of patchouli oil, is accounting for 90% of international trade. I think the production about 2,700 tons with total area of about 22,000. Okay, and then it is a plants that can be harvested and keep growing again. So from what I learned is maybe I have to be careful here because I know there are a lot of experts in essential oil. So please forgive me if I make mistakes on this. So from one hectare farm, and then is a harvested. The farmers harvesting the leaves from this 1 hectare farm produce about 4 to 5 tons of dry leaves. And then from this much dry leaves, and then it produces about 100 kilograms of oil. Okay, so from what I read is that in Indonesia, is about 12,000 farmer families involved in the cultivation of patchouli. Okay, so it'd be about 50,000 people get involved in this patchouli plantation. Okay, also there are 2,000 people employed in the distillation. Okay, and then so this patchouli industry is giving a living for quite a number of people, and that is a good thing. So I guess the question is that to create the economic value chains, how much are the contribution from the farming communities? So this is the farming communities. They do all the work, most of the heavy work, and then it is processed and then going to be exported, and people utilizing this. So the question is that about the fairness, how much is the contribution? I think that's a very big contribution. But then the question is that how much is their portion in getting the financial benefits from the entire economic change? So this is just something to think about. Okay, so this is the price of patchouli oil in United States. Okay, so this is I obtained that from this company, and this is the price of in US dollars, and I convert that into Indonesian rupiahs. So about 15 grams of patchouli oil, it will cost about 130,000, and then and so on. So about if this about 180 kilograms, it will cost about $500 million rupiahs, okay, 570 million rupiahs. So that's a lot of money, and that is it is expensive thing to be sold in United States. So the question is that for their contribution the farmers who are working very hard to collect the leaves, and then the farmer distillers who have worked very hard to do the distilling, how much do they get from doing the work and part of this this cost? The question is that now become about a fairness. So is it a sustainable, prosperous world based on equity, fairness, and justice? So I think there's something to think about in the essential oil industry. How can this be more beneficial for the people who work the most, the hardest, the farmers? The next things we talk about environment. Okay, so earlier I talked about the people, the society, but how whether essential oil industry benefit the people. Now about the environment. When we talk about environment, usually my mind goes to talking about water, energy, food nexus. When we talk about water, energy, food nexus, there is an interaction. It is the nexus. It is the interaction where food, water, and energy systems intersect. So it takes water to create food and energy. It takes energy to move heat and treat water to produce food. And also we use food crops as source of energy. All right, so how is the relationship of this water, energy, food nexus to essential oil industries? So one thing for sure is that essential oil industries use a lot of resources, use a lot of land, use a lot of energy, also maybe I should add the water here, and produce a lot of waste, because then only a very small portion of the plants that is extracted to get this oil, and then the rest is used for fuel but then also we need to think about, okay, what to do with the waste that is produced from this essential oil industry. So when we take the big picture on the entire life of essential oil on the value chains, this value chains need energy, you need water, you need a CO2 to grow the plants. Okay, so we need sunlight. Indonesia is blessed with a lot of sunlight. Also, it needs nutrients, fertilizer, and all this process, it will produce some nutrients, of course, then produce this essential oil products. But also, we have to think about the unwanted outcomes from this process. There's solid waste, what to do with that, and then liquid waste, what to do with that. Yeah. So that's something to think about. I think there's a lot of innovation that can be developed. I know that, for example, Indeso has done, for example, on liquid waste to make making biogas, for example. That is a very good thing. But that is how we make essential oil industry become more sustainable, in my opinion. So we talk about this agricultural 4.0. Okay, so that might be something that essential industry can think about. Okay, in agricultural 4.0, the world has to produce 70% more food. So also in essential industry, you can see that with the higher demand for essential oils, so it means that we need to grow more plants, and then we need to do more distillations. But then the question is that can those farming, those processes, using less energy, using less fertilizer, using less pesticide, in order to lower the level of greenhouse gas that is causing this climate change issue. And then how this the essential industry coping with climate change. We know that climate change causes weather change very dramatically. For example, right now in the United States, in the south we have a lot of water flood. In the east, in the west, California, Oregon, they have drought, a lot of fires there. And then in my place, in my area northeast, we got a lot of rain also. And this time is supposed to be very cold. It is still very warm here. 10 degrees centigrade is cold in Indonesia, but it is warm here during the time of the year. Also, we need to think about the old technologies that have to be maximized, and new technologies must be generated. So think also about this, the value chains. Okay, so how this for future farming technologies can be utilized to make this more efficient, and then to make the weakest link to be stronger. Okay, so from this, how to connect the farmers to get more the benefits in order for be part of this this process, this value chain. I went to Baturaden with my students, hosted by Indeso, and I saw this the farmers, farmers distillers working on this distilling essential oil. Okay, and the process is very in my mind is very it is a time consuming. Also use a lot of the energy is not efficient. And so it is also unhealthy. I think this farmers, he is exposed by smoke all the time because of this open fire. Also in the oil collection, I think that is a lot of opportunity to improve the process, to optimize the collection of essential oil. That is, in my mind also, that will help. And I think that the young generation, the students in Pajajaran, in IPB, can think about it, how to make these technologies, simple technologies that can be applied for these farmers. So to close my talk is about sustainability of essential oil. It can be summarized here. Okay, so essential oil industry can be growing, can survive if we have the world that is healthy, about the society that is healthy, economy that is healthy, environment that is healthy. Okay, so sustainable living will also support essential oil industry and vice versa. And we have the guidelines, the blueprint. Okay, so how we can use this essential oil industry participating in the goal for sustainable development, and then the evaluation. Okay, we need to make sure that when we develop technologies, when we develop a plan, and when we develop a program, we must assess this the potential, not only from the technology innovation, but also think about from the social perspectives, from economic perspective, environment, and politics, regulations. So it has to be a holistic perspective, holistic reviews on this. All right, so that's the end of my talk. This is just a picture from 2019 that when we, with IPB University, international students, few from Villanova came to Bogor to do summer course, and Indeso hosted us to learn about essential oil. Thank you to Indeso once again. We had a good time. This is the group. We visited the plantation in Purwokerto, in Baturaden. Also, we visited the distillation plant in the farm in the village. Has been very wonderful for us. So I'm hoping that we can do it again after the pandemic. All right. So that's the end of my talk. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions and want to contact me, and this is my email and then my phone number. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Satrio, for giving us such informative and interesting presentation. And also, the time is tightly. So, Dr. Satrio had enough experience in our essential oil industry because he involved in our summer course in 2019 in collaboration with Indeso, Takasago, Balitro, and essential oil farmers. Yeah, it's very interesting. So, and also from his talk, we know that the key of sustainability in essential oil industry is ability to support people, planet, and profit in the connection with water, energy, and food nexus. Yeah, I think it will be a lot of questions about this sustainability in essential oil industry. So we invite you to write your question in the chat box, and the committee will be summarized and give the question later to the speakers. Now we invite the second speakers, Ibu Dr. Weni Sunarharum, lecturer of food science and technology from Brawijaya University. She graduated from agricultural technology from Brawijaya University in 2003 and continues her master degree in University of Queensland, Australia in food studies. And the doctoral degree is got from the same university in Queensland, Australia, in food chemistry and molecular gastronomy. So we want to hear from her about another side, maybe to see the role of essential oils in the food industry, because she representative from PATB for food scientists, and so we give the floor for the Dr. Weni Sunarharum. Please, Dr. Weni, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Dwi. So may I share the screen now? Okay. So how long will I have to talk, Dr. Dwi? Is it 20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
The same.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. Is it now?
Yes.
Okay. So I will show it full screen. Wait a minute. Okay. I hope everyone can see the screen now.
Yeah.
My voice, is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Weni Sunarharum from the Department of Agricultural Product Technology, Universitas Brawijaya, Malang, East Java, Indonesia, and the representatives of the Indonesian Association of Food Technologies, PATPI. So thank you for having me to talk in this international conference of essential oils, the third ICEO 2021. Thank you to the Universitas Prajajaran and the committee. So today I would like to share a topic about essential oils in the food system. So wait a second. If we have a look at this market research by Innova, we can see that the top 10 food trends in 2021 is what you can see here. So one of it is the increasing interest on plant-based products. Yeah, the increasing interest on plant-based products. So the mainstream appeal for this plant-based is driving expansion to more market categories and regions. So consumers demanding plant-based product led to the innovation of many plant-based products. So as we can see here, there are many innovation on plant-based products. And the consumers now are demanding a safer and healthier products as they are more conscious of their health, tailoring diets and lifestyles to meet their personal needs. Then the question is, what it has to do with essential oils. So, as we know, essential oils application is related to the benefits, offered, such as the therapeutic potential, and then the pharmaceutical and the utilization for cosmetics like perfumes, fragrance, even for household goods industries. So the essential oils are rich of bioactives and functional ingredients to which numerous foods-related properties are associated. And in food, the use of essential oils offers an alternative to synthetic ingredients since it has considered as more natural, while also may add other potential, potential benefit to the products. So therefore it can be used as food ingredients and additives such as for flavoring agents and preservatives. Maybe it will be incorporated into syrups like the company in Indonesia, Hildin Food done to the syrup maybe. And then the food preservative functions for the essential oils is related to its antioxidant and antimicrobial properties. So next, the use of these essential oils as the flavoring agents had been widely studied, such as for this one, for sunflower oil, that has high polyunsaturated fatty acid, and therefore the oils is more susceptible to oxidative deterioration. And the use of this CEO, essential oil of coriander, improve the stability of the oil, sunflower oil, up to 24 days, in the accelerated storage. So this research mentioned that the use of essential oil here for the 1200 ppm gives significantly lower AV value, acid value, and then peroxide value, and then also P-N-acetylene value, and also the higher iodine value. So the use of this CEO has seemed to be potential, to increase the oxidative stability of sunflower oils and then exert synergistic effect with TBHQ, which is the synthetic antioxidant, and then it can increase the aroma, flavor, and consumer acceptability of the oils, which is the sunflower oils. So they conduct studies on these many parameters related to the oxidative stability and the properties for the sunflower oil. And then another research for from the Wang and friends as well, they evaluate the addition of essential oils to sunflower oil, but the essential oil is from pomegranate peels. Yeah, and they found that it can increase the stability in the accelerated storage for 30 days. So the study is quite similar to the previously that he has done, yeah, using the coriander, but the addition of PPEO, he found that the addition of PPEO at 800 ppm increased the oxidative stability of sunflower oil, and then inhibit the change of fatty acid composition, and then it gives better flavor, taste, appearance, and overall acceptability in the sensory evaluation. Now, next, there is another research of Wang, using thyme. Yeah, they are using analysis using thyme, rosemary, black pepper, fennel, and Brazilian pepper tree and orange. Yeah, they incorporate this mixture. They incorporate these essential oils into the extra virgin olive oil. Yeah, and evaluate the volatile profile, sensory attributes, oxidative stability, fatty acid composition, and nutritional quality. And it is found that the addition of these oils, beside influencing the sensory properties, it also has increased oxidative stability and maintain oxidative stability during 12 months of storage. However, based on the sensory result, it can be concluded from the research by Benghout that the one that is mostly preferred is fennel flavored EVOO, or the fennel flavored extra virgin olive oil. It's because other essential oils might give too strong, too pungent aroma, and so this one is highly preferred by the consumers or accepted by the consumers. So now, besides the addition of essential oils into the product, a single addition, there is also a mixed composite, or the mixture of essential oils added into foods. And so there is a potential to mix certain essential oils. For example, the research here, they are using the combination of ginger and then cardamom and cinnamon. I guess all of us know about ginger, cardamom, and cinnamon, and they are very often to be used and added into food. But the one here is they are using the oils, essential oils, and then they make the nano emulsion essential oils mixed composite. Yeah, for functioning as a natural food preservatives. So the research used the 10% of ginger, 68% of cinnamon, and 22% of cardamom essential oils. And they found that this composition enabled the best nanoemulsion. So it gives the smallest particle size and size distribution and the greatest antioxidant and antibacterial activity. So it also has reported that the mixture gave a good physical stability during 40 days of storage at cold storage, yeah, at 5 ± 1 degrees Celsius. So now, next, about the exploration on the melaleuca cajeput essential oil, or MCAO, we call it here, as flavor ingredients. As we can see here, there is a research also from, I think, Indonesian researchers and group, yeah, from Septiana et al. 2020, Septiana and friends. They evaluate and profile the melaleuca cajeput essential oils, yeah. And the profile is that this cajeput oil, melaleuca cajeput oil, contains 1,8-cineol, yeah, as the major volatiles, followed by terpineol and others here had shown in the picture. So yeah, and they use it for cajeput candy. So when application of this melaleuca essential oil on candy, it can be seen that it can be seen that they have a specific sensory characteristic here evaluated by sensory evaluation, a comprehensive sensory analysis, using the candy. And then it can be seen that the metabolite from the Melaleuca cajuput, the components from the Melaleuca cajuput influence the sensory attributes. And the most three significant sensory attributes influenced are for the cooling aftertaste, and then the sweetness and floral, as can be seen here. So some of the compounds might give positive or negative correlation on these specific attributes, mainly for cooling, sweet, and floral that has been evaluated. So we move on to the technology used for incorporating EO into food. Basically there are two technology widely used for this purpose. First here is the micro or nano emulsion, and then the micro nano encapsulation. So as we can see that based on the dimension size, the encapsulation can be categorized into micro and nano encapsulation. So as can be seen here, it shows that nano microencapsulated. This picture is taken from the research that is doing the nano microencapsulated natural antimicrobials to control the spoilage microorganism and pathogens. But the one I would like to share is that the microencapsulation here has a diameter less than from 1 micrometer to several hundred micrometer, while the nano encapsulation has diameter less than 1 micrometer or 1000 nanometer, typically between 50 to 100 nanometer. So the nano emulsion formed by the oily and aqueous phase in the emulsion system. In the nano encapsulation, or in the encapsulation, the compounds or active material is encapsulated here is called as the core, and the material used for encapsulation is called the encapsulant. So the encapsulant used can be like cellulose, and then the ethylene glycol, and then gelatins, and maybe other encapsulants. So the techniques for obtaining this oil nano emulsion and oil nano encapsulation may include nano precipitation, and then spray drying, ionic gelation, interfacial deposition of the preformed polymer, emulsion, diffusion, and then emulsification, solvent evaporation. So could also involve the solvent evaporation, and then the use of liposomes, and then high shear homogenization. This is using the high energy emulsification microfluidizers to create the mechanical shear, and then the spontaneous emulsification and nanostructured lipid carrier. As the example, the micro encapsulation of a spearmint essential oil. So the research is doing the micro encapsulation of spearmint essential oil. So it has revealed from this research that the optimized spray dried powder, they are using spray drying for this, and the optimized spray dried powder of micro encapsulated CEO showed the greater quicker release in 50% ethanol medium. So when the food matrix is made, or food medium is with the 50% ethanols, it gives better solubility and the corresponding structure. So the wall material used in this research is the blend of inulin and gum arabic. Okay, so CEO microcapsule can be used for pharmacy and different food application that the researcher mentioned. It can be potentially used as the flavor agent and also for chewing gum. And then now the nano emulsion of what is it? The chitosan, nano emulsion of essential oil using thyme essential oil that is incorporated into chitosan. This is to form the film, chitosan film, yeah, essential oil films and coating. So here is the process where the essential oil is added, yeah, together with twin 80 and then stirred and then homogenized, and then it gets the coarse emulsion, and then it is ultrasonicated into the nano emulsion, and then after that it is applied or added into the gel and gum, this gel and gum chitosan polyelectrolyte complex film. So it makes 3-layer films. And what is the result? The result explain that the film incorporated with 6% time essential oil nanoemulsion or TION, yeah, has the morphology as is shown here. So this is the morphology of the result of the films created with the addition of essential oil nanoemulsion, and it can be seen that the oil droplets here were smaller and more uniformly distributed, and the UV property is higher, and then this is the XRD property, and also the antimicrobial activity against E. coli. So it's it has the highest antimicrobial activities. So the film exhibit higher antimicrobes activities than the coarse one. So the nanoemulsion give a better or higher antimicrobial activities, yeah, and significantly reduce E. coli population in liquid model, and then improve the mechanical flexibility and UV blocking property in comparison to TIO. So the essential oil that had been mentioned before and also had been researched, it can be used in many active food packaging for various range of products, like we can see here for sausages, and then beef, chicken breast, fillet, for the marinated chicken, for mangoes, as well as for strawberries. However, actually, we need to consider that there are some limitations when we are using or applying the essential oils into food. Yeah, especially first because it has the limitation on solubility in water, and then the stability, and then the strong pungent aroma. So it should be noted as well that application of the essential oils for food must consider food safety, such as the risk of toxicity, because it is different to that of that we are adding the spices directly to food. This is the oils that has been extracted from food, from the plants. Yeah. Even though that's natural, there is also still a risk that we need to consider. And then the effect of essential oils on product characteristic and consumer preference also needs to be evaluated. This is to confirm the application. Yeah, maybe it's on food or beverage or other products. It is need to be evaluated, and the importance is also to assure, besides safety, is also to assure the quality. So to sum up, I would like to mention that essential oils can be utilized as food ingredients, yeah, flavoring agents, then the preservatives, yeah. The use of essential oils can improve the stability, the sensory characteristic, and acceptability of food products used during storage. And the technology used for application of essential oils in food include the micro encapsulation, nano encapsulation, and micro and nano emulsion. Yeah. However, the application of essential oil in food need to consider food safety and influence on food quality. And I think there are research opportunity for all of us, yeah, in the food sectors or in the food scientists, as well as the scientists who work on essential oil, to fill this gap, to optimize the application of EO, essential oil for food, and then the safety, maybe to study the toxicity, and then the quality of the products, and maybe the stability when it is used in foods and beverage. So I would like to end up this by saying thank you very much once again for the opportunity and your attention. If you have any question, you can reach me to this email address. Thank you so much. I would like to give the time back to the moderator. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ibu Weni, for the very nice presentation about the use of essential oils to improve the stability, sensory, and also acceptability of food products. The technology of essential oil processing, microencapsulation, nano-encapsulation, and also nano-emulsion. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting topics. And again, if you have any question, please don't hesitate to write in the chat box. Thank you. And we come to the third speaker. Warm welcome to our third speaker, Mrs. Lima, PhD from Shanghai Jiaotong University, China. She is also involved in R&D Center for Aroma Plants, Shanghai Jiaotong University, China. And then she graduated from Crops and Soil Environmental Sciences in Virginia Tech in 2015. Is still very young doctor, yeah? And continue her postdoctoral study in environmental science, UC Riverside and USDA in 2018. So she has a lot of experience in the effect of essential oils in tobacco, and also research on environmental, like polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon in soils. I give the times for Mrs. Lima. Please, Ms. Lima, to present your speech. Thank you.
Is my voice clear?
Yes. It's
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, already.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, respected guests and scholars. I'm very privileged and honored to be invited to such a great event. So my name is Lima. I'm from the R&D Center for Aromatic Plants, Shanghai Jiaotong University, China. I'm currently a tenure track assistant professor at this center. Today, the topic I'm going to share is the heterogeneous composition of essential oils. What are the causes and avoidance? So to begin with it, let me introduce the essential oil constituents. As we all know that the essential oils are mostly composed of terpene hydrocarbon and propanoid hydrocarbons, and sometimes with some functional groups attached to the hydrocarbon backbone. So the different constituents means that the essential oils may exhibit different functions and toxicity. For example, the alcohols or the esters, they are relatively safe to be used in the aromatherapy because these two kind of compounds usually exhibit low toxicity. But for ketones, esters, or aldehydes, they are very toxic. So you must be cautious when you use this kind of compounds in aromatherapy. So from this table, we can know that the essential oil chemistry determines its value and its quality, as well as its applications. So to go through with the following contents, I had to define the definitions of several words. The word chemotypes, I guess most of you may be familiar with this word, chemotypes. It mostly happens between species of the plants, they are genetically determined. The chem types are always normally named after the main constituents. Then the second word, the heterogeneity, is defined as the variability in the concentration of a constituent of essential oils from the same species of plants as a result of genetical or biological differences in the source plant or abiotic, environmental, and anthropogenic factors. And also included in this presentation is the unintended contamination or alteration of essential oils. That means the essential oils were contaminated or alterated unintentionally with some exotic substances such as the pesticides and the solvent. So this lists the causes for the interspecific variability or the heterogeneity of essential oil composition. For example, the most important factor is the environmental factors, such as the soil types, the sunlight radiation, the temperature, or the precipitation. And then the human activities, such as the cultivation measures, may also influence the composition of the essential oil. And also some handling practices, such as the pre-harvest or the post-harvest handling or the essential oil extraction method, are all influencing factors for the heterogeneity of the essential oil composition. Then let's go through one by one how these factors influence the variability of the essential oil composition. Firstly, the chem types. Just as I mentioned, the chem types are named after the main constituents of the essential oils. So the most typical example is the scenes. We all know that the scene plants have a lot of chem types. For example, SAMO chem type, the Cavacro chem type, or the Geranio Linalo chem types. So different chem types have different functions and properties, various activities. So based on this, we have to know, before you use the essential oil, you have to know the chem types and the composition of the essential oils. This is another example with sage as an example. You know, the plant sage essential oils also exhibit a lot of chem types. So just as it is listed here, I won't go through it one by one. And also another example, the mint, different mint species exhibited different chem types. And then let's talk about the causes of the environmental or the human activity effect. So the figure shows that the composition of essential oils of sages originated from 6 countries, exhibited a different composition. And also these, you see, the pictures and the papers show the essential oil, the appearance of the essential oil, and the components from the plant named Artemisia, a plant. The plant was sampled from the Guyuan County of Ningxia Province, China. So as we can see, the appearance of the essential oils are quite different. And then, you know, the blue color was contributed by one major component called canazilin. Canazilin, you see, this is the structure of the component canazilin. So these compounds contribute to the blue color of the essential oils. So you see, all of these samples actually are from the same county, Guyuan City, but just from different sides. Some are from the rural side, and some from the river side, some from the mountains. Just because the soil types are different, so the essential oils are different. So that means the soil types may also influence the distribution, the position of the essential oil. Another example is that the plant oregano, so the essential oils sampled from different parts of the plant also exhibit different components. For example, the flower may have the highest content of oxygenated monoterpenes. And this research shows that the effect of soil nutrition on the composition of essential oils of the same plant. So as we can see here, the percentages of the humus and the pH, soil pH didn't have a lot of influence on the composition of essential oil. However, two major components, the caracol and the nalo, the two compounds are positively correlated with the content of calcium and sulfur, and negatively correlated to silica. So this suggests that the minerals, the nutrients may influence the composition of the essential oils. However, the specific effects need to be further evaluated by experiment, which can provide guidance for agriculture practices. Then these figures show the effect of the seasonal sampling period on the essential oil composition. As far as I know, by literature review, I found that this effect is minor, is not the dominant. However, post-harvest techniques, however, exhibit the very high effect on the composition of the essential oils, as just reflected by this figure. We can see after the plant was freeze dried or air dried, we see some of the compounds are reduced substantially. So this tells us that in order to produce a even composition essential oils, you have to strictly control or standardize the handling techniques. And the last example, the pesticides contamination. So this study shows that compared with the organic orange essential oils, application of pesticides will introduce pesticide residue to the orange essential oils here. So this also tells us to produce the essential oils with the even composition, you have to strictly control the agriculture practices. Okay, then during the last few slides, we talked about the unevenness or the heterogeneity of the essential oil composition. Then how to deal with this situation, how to cope with the heterogeneity of the essential oils, or how to control the quality of the essential oils. Here are some lists, some approaches that the authorities or the literature have provided. So first, the important thing is that you have to perform ambiguous botanical identification and the characterization of the starting material. And this makes sense because the essential oils are the agriculture products, right? So it is from the aromatic plants. So you have to identify the starting material first, either by the physical and the analysis based on the essential oil chemical composition, or a DNA-based identification approach. And also, you have to do a clear labeling with the chemotype, botanical species, plant path used, and the raw material origin marked very clearly on the bottle of the essential oils. And also, just as I mentioned, some environmental and human activity, they also influence the essential oil composition. So you not to get essential oil with the even composition, you have to control the these practices such as appropriate propagation, systematic cultivation, and etc. So this figure lists the specific procedures that can be used to reduce the heterogeneity. Here, I won't go through it one by one. Right now we talked about some general method to control the essential oil composition from the sources. And right now, if the essential oil already produced and it is already heterogeneous, they have to control with it. So from now on, I will discuss how our lab deal with this situation. As we all know, China is a country with abundance of botanical resources. As far as we know, China's aromatic plant resources involve 370 species in 63 families distributed in 400 genera. So along this latitude, distributed the oil-bearing plant resources. Most of these plants are the Chinese special and are distributed in the wild. So this picture shows that some of the oil-bearing aromatic plants cultivation bases. Currently, our lab have established a relationship and signed contract with 16 of these species. Every year, they will send the plant materials of the essential oil samples to our lab, and then we will conduct the research for them. So this is a scheme of the essential oil handling by our lab to deal with the heterogeneity of the essential oils. We can do a redistillation of the essential oil for further purification and isolation of a special components, or we can mix the essential oils. Where specifically, I will give some examples to illustrate this approach. So here, the first example, we use the rectification method to remove the alcohol from the saffron extract, concentrate the compound called crossing. So the manufacturers usually use the alcohol to extract the toxin from this plant. Saffron, and then they will ship the extract to our lab. We will deprive the alcohol from the saffron extract. So after this method, you can see from the chromatograph, the target compound toxin was concentrated to achieve a concentration of 85 ppm. That is extremely high than its original extract. So another example, the fractionation of essential oils. I just take the essential oil or lavender oil, for example. The first chromatograph shows the oil blend, and then after we use the molecular distillation equipment to isolate the essential oils, it can be fractionated into two parts. So the fraction 1 and fraction 2, the two fractions are complementary in its composition. So you may raise the question how to use this. So normally, for example, if these two compounds are really high in one essential oil, that is higher than the requirement of the ISO standard or the market requirement, then we may add the fraction 1 to the essential oil to benefit. Finally the essential oil may meet the requirements of the essential oil market or the ISO standard. The third example, in China, a lot of the farmers from the bases produce the rose essential oils. So one problem is that the essential oils have high content of the alkanes, as the which were marked in red here. So which will influence the quality of the essential oil. Then the essential oil cannot be sold out because of this problem. So in our lab, we use this equipment to for the rose oil dealkylation to remove all of these alkanes and then make the essential oil meet the requirement of the market. And also another example here. Just we mentioned we have some plant called Artemisia. The plant was from Ningxia province. So we use our equipment to extract the essential oils. So essential oils kind dark blue. And here there is a target compound named Camellia. This compound, the compound is against the UVA and UVB. It is a nature. It is a nature suncrene protectant. So it can be added to the cosmetics. Then we want to purify this compound. So we use the method called thin layer chromatography. So the essential oils were coated in this thin layer plate, and then it will put in a solvent. Then all the compounds will be fractionated just shown from this plate. So the black blue dot here signify this compound, active compound. Then you can cut it off and extract it with the organic solvent and concentrate it. Then after that, so the isolate will be concentrated and will be purified with the purification with the purity as high as 19%, just as the graph show here. You see, this is the target compound. The purity is as high as 90% or even more. Lastly, we have another method. Just as I mentioned, if some of the essential oil can still not meet the requirement of the market, we can mix it together. We can mix the monomers, the oil blend, or the isolated fractions, just to we can do the calculation and then mix the different volume of the different compounds together. So anyway, finally, the essential oils after mixing can be can reach the can meet the requirement of the standard. Okay, so last introduction for all of you. The R&D Center were introduced in the year 2016, and currently it has a history of 15 years. This is our director, Professor Yoli, and these are the lab members. Currently, our lab conducts research in the following aspects. Firstly, the aromatic plant resources of Chinese element, and then secondly, the essential oil extraction, purification, and identification. But also, we also conduct research on the investigation of bioactivities of essential oils. And lastly, we also contribute healing guidance. Currently, we have gained the following. These are the following achievements. We have a plant nursery with 200 more plant species, and also we have helped the government construct 4 healing gardens. We have developed more than 60 essential oil-related products for ourselves or for the companies. And currently, we have 134 publications in the world-renowned journals. We have 30 patents, 63 grants, either from the government or from the companies. And just as I mentioned, we have 16 collaborative bases. Also, we have 100 square meter lab. To learn more about the lab, you can scan the 2D bar to reach our website. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mrs. Lima. We all know about the essential oils a lot from her presentation. Yeah, we know that the composition of essential oil is affected by the chemotypes, heterogeneity, and also the contamination or adulteration. Yeah. And the variety of the essential oils is influenced by environmental factors, human influence, and also post-harvest handling. Yeah, and then we can control the practices of cultivation and raw material handling and the process for distillation process, and also after distillation we can use a lot of